Okay, so I mentioned in my group that there was some new terms of service coming into effect for YouTube tomorrow, 10th of December 2019. And I promised I would do a little bit more digging and find out more about it. Now, as it transpires, these new terms of service actually were updated and came into effect for anybody in the European Economic Area or Switzerland in July this year, on July the 22nd, 2019. These new terms of service already came into effect. So for most of us, I mean, certainly for me, and I haven't noticed anybody in my group mention anything about the updated terms of service having any impact on their account at all. Now, the difference is in their terms of service that, and it depends on your translation of it and of your interpretation of it, but what it could mean is that YouTube is now able to delete or terminate any accounts which are not bringing them money and are not bringing them income. And it makes sense, right? Because they're a business and they actually genuinely need to be making money from all of these millions and millions and millions of videos that they are hosting. And so I would imagine that over the coming months and possibly years, I don't know how quickly they're going to implement this, if they ever are going to implement it. And by the way, they haven't said that this is something they're going to do. This is an interpretation, and there's quite a lot of noise in the marketplace about it. But it could be now that they are open to terminating dormant accounts or accounts which are not bringing any money in for them. And what this means for us as content creators is that if you, like many of us do, upload a lot of unlisted videos to your account, these might be coaching calls, for example, that you're not wanting the whole world to see, you don't want them to be public and for people to be able to search on YouTube and find them, or even content for your courses. Now, I know a lot of people who upload content to YouTube, which they then put into a private membership area or onto a private learning management system for people to be able to access when they have bought their paid courses. Now, there is always a little bit of a risk with this because once people have the link to those videos, they are then able to save them, store them, distribute them, even if it's against your terms of service for them to do so, they are able to do that. So if you are using YouTube as a storage vault for your course content, it may not be the smartest choice anyway. But what this whole terms of service update is opening this new can of worms for is that now YouTube can actually take steps to terminate your account. So what I'm really advising you to do is I want to make you aware of this, but also to let you know that you need to have backups, and you should have anyway. But I know of people who upload to YouTube, and that, as far as they're concerned, is their safety net for any kind of videos. And then they delete them off their system because they want to get rid of them. So they don't want them on their system themselves because they're using up a whole load of space. And it's for exactly that reason that YouTube is probably making these changes, because they might get to a point where they need to free up some space. Because there are literally billions of videos using their servers. And at some point, there is a possibility that that capability and that capacity may come to an end. They have to have limited capacity, right? So what I would imagine is that at some point for the dormant accounts, they might start shedding them. They might start terminating accounts which haven't been used for a long time, which are using up space. But there is also the capability for them now to terminate accounts where there is no money being generated from them, because if they're not public, then there's no possibility of people actually generating views, and that's how they make the money, when people are actually watching the videos. So with all that being said and done, what are the actions that you could now be taking to safeguard your videos? Well, first of all, you need to make sure you have a copy on your computer. It's very straightforward. Just create a space, a folder, whatever it might be, for your content creation, or for your maybe have somewhere where you save your coaching call recordings, maybe have a space where you save your course creation videos, and make sure that you have a filing system which you can back up in the cloud, you can back up onto a hard drive, but you have them on a system somewhere. So if the worst comes to the worst and YouTube did decide to delete your account, you have these videos somewhere. And by the way, I genuinely don't think that YouTube is likely to go on a mass termination spree anytime soon. So this is not a question of scaremongering you into thinking that you're going to have to spend the whole of Christmas downloading videos and saving videos and doing all this kind of stuff. But I do want you to make you aware of the fact that you should be backing up your business anyway. It's really good practice, because imagine if you spend months putting together content for a course, which I know lots and lots of us do, then just simply to upload it to somewhere like YouTube only to find that it's then taken away and you can't retrieve it. It would be utterly heartbreaking. It might have massive consequences for your business and your income. So it's a good idea to back it up anyway. So that's the first thing to do. The second thing to do is actually to really maybe run a bit of an audit and have a really good think about where you are saving your videos, because YouTube is really fabulously convenient, and it's really amazingly efficient in terms of economics for us because we can do it for free, but it may not be the best place for you to be saving valuable content anyway. So if you are monetizing your content, if you're putting content out to the world and you're building your YouTube viewers and you're building your YouTube account, I think you're absolutely 100% safe. I don't think they're going to be getting rid of any of those kind of accounts where you are actually generating a following and you are being active. Let's say you're uploading a new video every week to YouTube. And even if you only have a minuscule following now, you have the potential to grow that. And YouTube's going to want people like you. So I don't think that there's any chance of you having your account taken away anytime soon. But if you're one of these people who only uses YouTube to have unlisted videos, then I would certainly recommend that you take a look at this. And other options that you might want to look at are things like Wistia and Vimeo. Now, you do need to be aware of the fact that Vimeo is probably going to be, out of the two of those, is probably going to be the cheapest solution, because Wistia's paid accounts start at $99 a month. And Vimeo has much more cost-effective solutions, but their terms of service need looking at as well, because you need to take a look and see. They will make sure that if you're using videos in any kind of commercial capacity, and that does mean if you're distributing them for income, so if you have things, if you're distributing it for a course, for example, you do need to have a Vimeo Pro or business account. So you can't go, so I think they have a free plan, then I think it's Plus, the Plus plan, but you need to be on a Pro or a business plan in order to be putting videos out there which are able to be accessed by students who have paid to be on your course. So that's something for you to keep in mind as well. So the next thing I really want to point out to you is that you should not be uploading your videos to your website. Now, I'm going to make a distinction here, because there's two ways that you can present video content on your website. You can either embed it or you can host it yourself. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what both of those mean, because you can upload videos to your website. But just because you can, it doesn't mean that you should. In fact, you definitely 100% should not be uploading videos to your website. So let's stop for a moment and talk about the difference between embedding and hosting. So when you upload your video to somewhere like YouTube, Wistia, Vimeo, wherever it might be, to a video hosting platform, and then you want to display it on your website, what you're doing is you're going over to that video hosting platform where you uploaded your video, you're grabbing the URL from there, and then you are going back to WordPress and you are copying the link into your post or your page. Now that is embedding. That basically means that when someone comes to your post or your page and they view that video, they're actually viewing the video on YouTube or wherever it was that you are hosting it. So the video is being hosted from their servers, not from your web hosting server. So your website is hosted somewhere, and when you upload images and you upload content, it's all hosted on your web hosting platform, which you usually have paid for through your hosting provider. Now, when you upload video to somewhere, a platform like Vimeo or YouTube or wherever it might be, when people are viewing that video and you've embedded it, it just means that they're viewing it on a totally different server. Now, there's so many reasons why that is good, why that is a good thing, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that in a moment. But I want to emphasize the difference between you doing that and uploading it to your media library, which is absolutely what you should not be doing. So it doesn't matter how big or small your video is, please don't be tempted now with all of this talk about YouTube to actually upload your videos to your media library, because what that means is that when you upload it there, you are hosting your own video. It's no longer hosted on somewhere that is meant to be a video hosting platform like YouTube or Wistia or Vimeo. It's actually being hosted on the same place as all of your website files, in the same way as your images and your PDFs and all the rest of your content are. Now, what that means is your website is actually going to deliver, or your web hosting, your web server is actually going to deliver that video. And it's not meant to, it's not configured to do that. And so you will very quickly run out of server bandwidth. So usually you'll be on a shared hosting platform, and what that means is that you have a certain amount of bandwidth for all of the websites on that shared platform to share between them. And you will very quickly max that out with videos because they take a lot of data to stream them. And so not only will your website go down, but lots of the other websites on that hosting platform will probably go down as well. So that's really bad news for you and everybody else. And you will also likely max out the storage on your hosting platform very quickly. So your video might be like 100 megabytes, it might be more than that. And you will have a finite amount of server space that you are entitled to use as part of your hosting plan. Now, it would only take a few videos for you to go over that capacity. And even when you do, even if you have huge capacity on your hosting provider, you are likely to have a playback experience, or your viewers are likely to have a playback experience which is really, really shaky. So either the video would start freezing, or it would just start to load extremely slowly, and your whole website would load extremely slowly, and it would be a really, really frustrating experience for people who are trying to view it. But more to the point, there's so many techie reasons why you shouldn't be doing it, because there's no single standard format for videos on the internet yet. So what you can use on Firefox is different from the video format that you can use on Safari, which is different from the video format that you can use on Chrome. Actually, Chrome's pretty good. It pretty much supports all of the formats. But what that means is that you don't only then upload one version of your video, you are going to upload 3 different versions of your video. And so what was 100 megabytes is now 300 megabytes. And you see where I'm going with this when we're talking about server space, you're quickly going to max everything out. And also, you would need to create different high resolution versions, different low resolution versions for people who are watching on a mobile phone or a tablet. And also for people who are on slower internet connections, you're going to have a version for them. And so it goes on. So, okay, hopefully I've drilled that home. You must not upload your videos to your media library in WordPress. It's really not a good idea. So you're always going to embed your videos for them to be viewed on someone else's hosting platform, such as YouTube, Vimeo, or Wistia. Now, with the whole YouTube thing, all the noise that's going on about their updated terms of service, you might be wondering whether that's a good platform for you. Now, Vimeo, I think, is a good platform. It's a safe platform for you to use for this, and for your content creation, for all of your course materials. It also means that if you're using the Pro version, which you would have to if you're monetizing your content in any way, then you can actually make sure that it's only uploaded from a certain domain. So people can't then pirate your content. They can't then distribute it in a way that you wouldn't want them to be distributing your content. So that is really the long and short of it. So I'm not telling you to stop using YouTube. I'm telling you to be aware of the fact that there is now a possibility for them to terminate your account if they don't think that you are a viable person to have an account with them, because you're not monetizing your videos in any way. So carry on using them by all means, but please make sure that you've got a backup. And if you're wanting to to distribute course materials, then I don't think YouTube is the best platform for you to do that. And I would recommend that you have a look at Vimeo, and keep in mind that you would need to use the paid account, not just Plus, but you would need to use Pro or Business. And so I think at the moment their Pro version is about £40 a month, and you would need to pay that on a yearly basis. So take a look at these. These are your options. I just wanted to flag up the fact that these terms of service are going global tomorrow for YouTube's new terms of service. And if you're based in the EU, then you're probably already on the updated terms of service and have been since July. So if you haven't noticed anything radical happen yet, then you're probably in the clear. And like I say, if you are building your YouTube with great content anyway that's available for lots of people to view, I don't think that you have any issues or anything to worry about with YouTube. Now, if you have questions about this, then please get in touch with me. You can either direct message me, hop over and join us in the WordPress Happy community, because we're likely to be carrying on the conversation over there. But for the meantime, please take a look at all of your backups. And by the way, it shouldn't just be your videos you're backing up. You should have backups of your website and all sorts of other things. So please take a look at how you're backing up your entire business. This is a really great opportunity for you to be thinking about this and really thinking about how you are safeguarding all of this content for you. So, Syed says, yes, I don't understand why YouTube made these changes. Well, actually, in fact, I've got their document in front of me about why they did make the changes. So a really quick summary of why they made the changes. A lot of it is about child protection, but some of it is about improved readability. And in fact, there's a lot of the big platforms that are making changes now to improve the readability of their terms of service. It's also about improved transparency and communication. They've also clarified the content license, which they think makes it easier for you to understand. They're not asking for any additional permissions, and they say that there's no difference in the way that they are using your content. They've also say that they've made some updates to better reflect the way that YouTube operates. For example, we've removed outdated descriptions and provided helpful details about the service. And a lot of it is about age requirements as well, that they've clarified the age requirements, and if you're under 18 you must always have your parent or guardian's permission before you actually use YouTube. So there are reasons why they have gone ahead and done this, and they're also saying you need to actually have agreed to the terms of service in order to carry on using this. So there's no way you can get out of it. There's no way around it as such. And it's absolutely nothing to do with GDPR or with the European Union Copyright Directive. It's completely YouTube orientated. So I think a lot of it is really about child protection, and I think that is maybe what's triggered it. And because it's a big update, they've also brought in these other updates too. So I will post a link to the full terms of service if you're wanting to go ahead and have a look. I'll post it in the link in the comments here. In the meantime, really the biggest takeaway is just to make sure that you are backing things up. So I hope that's been useful. Definitely don't want to be scaremongering anybody, but I do want you to be aware of the fact with YouTube or with any other platform that you're using, we should always make sure that we keep a tight hold of our own content and that we have it backed up somewhere, no matter where that might be, whether that's on our computer, in the cloud, on a hard drive somewhere. You need to make sure that we have several copies of all of our content to safeguard our business. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for tuning in on Monday. And if you want to carry on the conversation, please hop over into the WordPress Happy community. If you're not a member yet, would love to see you over there, and maybe see you in the group shortly.